Hey everybody. Well, it's been a while since I did a video. Last Saturday, actually last Friday, a new movie came out, which I was glad to hear that they did finally come out with it, which was Tron Ares. Now, I'm somewhat of a Tron fanatic. I like the Tron series. Since I was introduced to it way back in 1982, when it first came out with Jeff Bridges, Bruce Boxleitner, and Cindy Morgan, way back in the day. And it was that unique time where computers were just coming out to the general public. Personal computers were there, kind of thing. They were, in the late 70s, early 80s, where you know how it is. They only had a few K of RAM, so on and so forth. They generally had a good basic program in them to learn programming. To start everybody off with something simple, easy, and good to go. That was the heyday of the time where it was like the Wild West. So you had computers from Radio Shack, you had Commodore 64, you had the Amiga, you had the PC line from IBM, or IBM and their clones, so on and so forth. It was a really wild world back then, and that was in my days of high school. And yeah, imagine that. I went to high school, graduated from it, on top of it, bing! Something I should have told you is like, something is not right. Anyhow, if you haven't seen the movie Tron Ares, I suggest you do go see it. But there's a nice button here. I would suggest to see the original Tron series from the Tron movie from 1982. Then you have Tron Legacy, which is the second movie. Yes, Disney did make an animation of Tron. I did not have a chance to see it because it was strictly on Disney Channel in the States. I'm from Canada. We don't usually get that available here, so I couldn't see the animation series, so I didn't see that part. But because it's also related to the first and second movie, Tron and Tron Legacy, which this is part of that legacy there is a lot of references to the first and second movie. And there's a lot, and what I mean by that, I'm not saying, slang words like terminology and all that. A lot of it, cinematic-wise, or certain scenes that are in there, and one struck me very well, and I happened to see it, and this was close to the end of the film. I'm not gonna tell you the exact scene. Well, I can tell you the exact scene, but it was only like a glimpse, like a not even a 2-second shot. Was when Tron, Flynn, and Ram first got together on the grid, when the MCP was an actual program at one of the I/O towers that happened to be somewhat like Ed Dillinger. Like, the voiceover of Ed Dillinger was part of the MCP, and he was also playing Sark within the movie itself, the original Sark program. So, what was I about to say? I just lost thought. Jesus H. Christ. It came up to the one scene from the first movie where they were traveling on their original light cycles in the first film. In this scene that you had seen in the third film, there's a crack in the wall. Okay? A little crack. It goes from within the game grid, from within the light cycle arena to the outside of it, which looked for the size of the grid on the inside of the computer, looks like gargantuan. Like, it looked like at least almost like a full size of a building, like a city block. It was something that big that looked on the inside. Anyhow, they happen to go through this slight hole from the grid to get escape out of it. Okay, from the light cycle grid. And this was, like I said, only a few moments, like a few seconds. The screenshot of the actual game area was there, and then they had Jared, who played the MCP in this one. Why did they call him the MCP? I have no idea. That's what they called him in the film here, in this one. Which kind of threw me off, because knowing the first film, the NPC was a single identity at an I.O. tower. This one happened to be a program roaming the interior of the grid. But now, because this is all being held in the real world, instead of being on the inside of the computer, they're actually coming out. Now, this is kind of a lot of flip-flopping around, because the first two were basically on the inside of the computer itself. This one, they brought it outside. It was really well made. The character, and I'll say this, I do miss seeing a lot of the original characters. Like Jeff Bridges does make a cameo in it. I'm very sad to see that Bruce Boxleiter didn't make it in, but I totally understand his point. He got fed up, so I understand his reason. He didn't want to be any more part of the Tron livelihood. And with a lot of the other supporting actors, like Cindy Morgan, who played Yori in the first one, and also played Mathria in Tron 2.0 from Monolith. She played Mathria in that one, a voiceover, which, she's passed away. God love her. She was a great actress in her time, for what she did. Who played Caddyshack and a few other movies. I would have loved to have seen some of the older characters, like besides Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges is now 78, 80 years old. But some of the characters that have grown older within time, within the system itself, within the side of the computer, because the computer is kind of different compared to what it is in our time, in our real world scenarios. So, there's kind of like an influx of that all over the place. But understanding, I did like the movie. It did have these little questions, little sparks here and there where you tend to question things. But because it's a movie also to get away from it. This is what I enjoyed getting out of the film. Not because it's like, oh, it didn't have this, it didn't have that, it didn't have that. With the other two, like, it didn't directly relate. It did, but indirectly brought some scenes from the older films from Tron and Tron Legacy. That I truly respect, because that's what made it enjoyable. Because if you had seen the other two, then you know what happened here. If you didn't see the other two, then you don't know what the hell is going on. I did enjoy the film. What I've noticed too, a lot of these reviewers online, whether they're on the internet, that do movie reviews, a lot of them don't understand, or don't have invested interest of understanding what that line of series like Tron Legacy, and Tron Ares has. There'll be a group of people dedicated to a movie like Tron, like I am in Tron. There's people who invested in Lord of the Rings. That's a popular one there. And then you have people from a lot of the other film genres. That even like going back to the Wizard of Oz, or their famous anime. Sailor Moon happens to be another popular anime. I truly, and I do see the relation from what I like in Tron to what people like in Sailor Moon or whatever character they're playing. You know, it's all a matter of just enjoying yourself. This year I enjoyed for the fact that it was just a movie to uh, what's the word I'm looking for, to go into, get myself embraced into the world of Tron. That's all it really was. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to make super graphic, super animated. It doesn't have to have the best. If you go from point A to point B to point C to point D, and it links up nicely, I'm happy. It makes sense. It does. It's only a fictional. It's only a fictional movie. I'm stoked. It brought the kid out of me. That's what was Tron for me. It doesn't have to be. Oh, it didn't have Jeff Bridges. I've seen all these little complaints. It's the same thing with Star Wars. Star Wars was great when it came out. Learning what they did to make all those, the lightsaber scenes, the way they did some of the backlit. Well, not the backlit. That's going too far. That's something in Tron. Backlit. The backlit glow in the dark and stuff like that. But how they've got the lightsabers to work, how they were able to do, mirroring the underneath of the what was it? This always gets me. Like on Tatooine, they have these. It almost looks like a hovercraft, but it's not a hovercraft. But it's underneath. It's a 3 or 4 wheel drive car, but they use mirrors to underneath the ship, make it look like it's floating. It's like oh my god, it looks cool, for the vehicle, the TIE fighters and the X-wings and I enjoyed that as well. I'm not a total Star Wars nut. My brother is, but I enjoyed even his films to the extent that I enjoyed it to the fact that it's science fiction. It's only deal. You're going to come back to it. It's either you hate it or you love it. I loved it. Same thing with the Star Wars. I loved the Star Wars film. But it was, for the fact that I enjoyed it for a different reason. My brother can smack me to death with all the Star Wars info he has. He loves it. It's the same thing with me, with my Tron stuff and all that. One thing I forgot to mention was that out on Amazon, they had a Tron thermos. Now, I don't have it here with me. Oh, it's somewhere in my room here. It's around here. It's a nice. It's a 24-ounce thermos. You can put cold water into it. You can put your coffee into it. You can. Oh, hold on. Let me get it first. I'll show you what I mean. I'll come right back. Ta-da! I'm back again. See, this is the one I have. It's the Owala Tron. There we go. The Owala Tron thermos. You can get this on Amazon. Since I'm in Canada, I was able to find this up on Amazon along with a cleaning brush. Cleaning brush it is. To clean it out. Again, you can put cold stuff in there. And I haven't used it yet. I did clean it out, but I just haven't used it yet. But this is my new thermos that I use for work, since I take a lot of calls. But I just wanted to get this here to tie it in with Tron Ares. That's my little thing of remembering the film because of it. Overall, I'm not going to give away that much more in regards to the movie itself. I do suggest that if you have the chance to see it in theaters, please do. The reviews don't make it justice. because they said that exact same thing for Star Wars, that they said it's going to be a flop. Guess what? It's made over $1 billion since 1977. So that franchise blew the reviewers away, the ones that are on TV and all that. And it's like they should have been put to shame on this. I wish this would have done the same thing with the reviewers and with Walt Disney, because I find that Walt Disney does have something unique with this. It's just they don't have an idea what to do with it. There is nobody there at the helm who truly understands it, and that's the scary point for something like this, or any franchise that is coming back, or at least trying to make its way back into regular film or through the cinema. This is something they should have thought it out properly for this, and that's where things go awry, because there's not that many people who truly understand a work of art on anything. Even for the other ones, like for Star Wars and all that, it just makes it that much harder. But anyhow, that's my 2 cents. I'm sticking with it. Go out and see it, and have a great time. End of line.